Coach, just gonna have you go through the 5 quarterbacks real quick and kind of what each one's showing you, really from Cam down through the depth chart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Cam's clear-cut our number one. I mean, and he should be. I mean, he's been around this offense a lot for a long time. He's been really sharp these first 6 days. Really excited about his progression right now. And one thing I think Coach Dicker's done a great job is kind of bringing the evolution along of him being a leader all the time and being mentally focused. He's always been super talented. But you saw it today, okay? We were down a couple times in team. He got everybody up, and then he went out and we executed at an extremely high level. So love his leadership right now. Then there's a battle for number 2 right now, and it's a 3-way battle. I think they've all had really bright spots and then some really low spots. So we're looking for consistency in the backup position. I've kind of mixed it around. John Mateer got some reps with the ones today. Yesterday, Xavier got some reps with the ones. And Emmett's had his fair share of reps. So I'm not ready to say who our backups yet. I think that most of them have been inconsistent up and down, and that's something that we need for this team is to find out and solidify who our backup quarterback is.
Can you talk about just Emmett, John, and extra, just kind of maybe 1 or 2 things that you've seen them do really well and maybe 1 or 2 things they need to work on?
Yeah, I mean, I think Emmett has a really explosive live arm, really good at the quick game. When he knows where he's going with the first read, it's good. Some of his limitations, if he gets caught on his second or third read, he's a little bit shorter, so he's got to work on his pocket presence and find some gaps in there to throw it just because sometimes he can't see over the line. And so that's where Emmett is right now. I think X has extremely good arm talent. His is all decision-making and just running this offense and knowing where his progressions are. His eyes have to be clean. He has to get to the right spot at the right time. So cleaning up that with X. And then I think John, he's scrambling a little bit like any freshman would be, adding this much offense in 7 days. And so, but really excited about the future of John. I think he has really good arm talent. I think he's grasped in the offense. And I thought today was one of his better days. So you expect those mistakes from a freshman quarterback, but the progression needs to happen pretty fast. After this first scrimmage on Saturday, I'd like to start pushing the 2 reps to 1 guy. And so this week's going to be huge for that.
How much of the offense will be installed by week 1? Will it be 100%?
Yeah. And so, what we like to do offensively is we like to run the same plays a lot of different ways. And so it keeps it simple for the quarterbacks, but, is hard for the defense. We'll run, tight bunch sets. We'll run wide sets. We'll run a bunch of 11 personnel, a bunch of 12 personnel. But at the end of the day, it's all the same plays and the same progressions for the quarterback. So, I think majority of the playbook will be in game 1.
You obviously run a bit of a different air raid than what Mike Leach ran, considering there's tight ends and, a little more running. Have you talked to him at all, kind of comparing notes, or have you not done that?
Yeah, we always in the off season, have some long calls scheduled. Anytime you get on the phone with Leach, you need to schedule anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours because he'll talk your ear off. But always been a great mentor of mine, and it's something that we watch his film, he watches our film, and we're able to kind of tell what the reads are, kind of what the new wrinkles that we're putting in ours. So we have more offense than him overall, but it's always good to pick each other's brains. Such a guy like that's had so much success, longevity.
What was it like having Luke Falk out here last week?
Amazing. So Luke's just a great kid. I mean, to go through what he went through here at Washington State, and I thought he was he's really honest with our guys, and it was fun to watch them connect on a personal level and emotional level over the course of a week. Offered a lot of great advice for our guys, but a guy that is the all-time leading Pac-12 passer, yards and touchdowns, has a bunch of knowledge in this offense. So it was good to pick his brain in meetings. He definitely had some notes for me at the end of it. I think Luke Falk's going to be a great coach someday. So it was fun kind of to see that burning desire of football to come back out. And Luke, I think that's something he's been missing in his life, and it was fun to be around it.
I'm not sure how much you can say, but do you have maybe an update or a timeline on getting guys like Nakia and Dew and Farrell back into the lineup?
No timeline right now, and so it's been good that we haven't had any season-ending stuff right now. But anytime you get to this point in camp, I think this camp's a lot more physical than what it was last year. We're doing more reps than what they did last year, so we just have to get our bodies adjusted, and we got to be smart in protecting the guys that have that game experience and we know are going to be viable options for us on game day.
A lot has been made of Cam Ward's developing and leadership qualities, but maybe we can't really tell from our angle on the sideline, but what's that kind of look like in the huddle? Like, what is he doing a little differently than maybe he was doing in spring camp or last season?
Yeah, just a lot more vocal. You know, Cam has this unique ability to really turn it on, and he's super competitive. So we've challenged him, you know, when he turns it on and that competitiveness comes out, like bring people along with you. I mean, you're the one in the huddle that's talking. They're hearing your voice every play. So find somebody every day and let's bring them along with you. And in football, it's power in numbers. And so if we have everybody believing on the same page, that's when you get some special things out here.
Is there maybe one particular aspect of this offense that seems to be coming along most smoothly, or is kind of fully installed, and there are other little things that are, I guess, not behind schedule, but work in progress at this point?
Yeah, I think that, our quick game and our RPO stuff has been really good and really sharp early on in camp. What I didn't think we were stretching the field very well early on in camp. And the last 2 days we've challenged the guys, and we've seen great responses on hitting some vertical balls down the field, hitting some posts down the middle. Nardi had a great post route and ran under and catch a great ball by Cam today. And then a couple, Donovan Ollie and Strib on the outside have really gone up and competed and won some 50-50 balls. So that was one area that I didn't like through the first probably 4 or 5 days of just vertical stretch game. And last 2 days they've responded to that challenge.
In terms of guys who've taken the leadership reins for receivers and running backs, who's kind of maybe stood out to you there?
Yeah, I mean, Nardi comes to mind right now. I mean, he's been around here so long and love the way he's practicing. I think that Nardi had something taken away from him, and he realized, how much football meant to him, and so he doesn't take it for granted, and he's coming out here and probably like the other day, I had to pull him back and just say, hey, like, calm down in this period, like you're running way too much, too fast, your legs are going to be shot. And so Nardi's the first and foremost that pops in my mind, and then I think Nakia Watson does a great job with those running backs and the leader of that group right now.
We've heard about the diversity of the offense, but is that because you kind of talked about it's different looks but with the same sort of formations? Is that to sort of ease the mental process, and how do you think guys have kind of handled the playbook in general and learning all this stuff?
Yeah, I think so. I think that these guys have to know the whole concept together. And so, back in the day I played H in Leach's system. I had to know one position that I knew that was the only thing I was going to do. I was going to have to go to different positions. So the way we motion and move people around, I mean, you have to know that the outside receiver might end up being a slot in one formation, and he has to know what that concept is as opposed to just what his route is at X every time. So I think just holistically learning what these concepts are and knowing at what position you are is really how we try to teach it now.